Thank you. Please be seated.
Good afternoon. I'd like to remind everyone of some of the instructions included in the remote meeting protocol. Everybody will be muted, and if you are asked to speak, you unmute yourself, speak and mute yourself again when you have finished. If you have a question, press the virtual hand on the screen and the chair will invite you to speak, one person at a time. Please do not begin speaking until the chair invites you in. If you have a comment to make, you should only raise your virtual hand when the chair asks for comment, and again you'll be invited to speak, one person at a time. If for any reason a member of the committee has cause to leave the meeting, they must indicate this to the chair before leaving, either by putting a message in the chat or raising their hand. Case law is clear. You are not allowed to vote if you haven't heard the full debate. If your screen freezes but you have heard the whole debate, you may use your discretion over whether to vote. However, if you did not hear the whole debate, then you cannot vote. When it comes to recommendations, we will call your name out and ask you to indicate how you are voting. Before the chair starts the meeting, could I please ask all officers and guests who are joining remotely to turn off their cameras so that only committee members are on screen. Thank you.
Please note that today's meeting may be recorded and broadcast on the authority's website. Any person in view of a camera is by virtue of attending consenting to being filmed and to the possible use of those images and sound recordings being used as outlined. Democratic Services, can I please ask you to start the recording? Prynawn da, croeso. Good afternoon. Welcome to Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council full meeting on Wednesday, 1st of July 2026. So I'll go on to agenda item 1, apology for absence.
Yes, Chair, there's 3 apologies for absence. Apologies from Councillor Lisa Mitten, Councillor Kevin Gibbs and Councillor John Thomas.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2, declarations of interest. Members are reminded of their personal responsibility to declare any personal prejudicial interest in respect of matters contained in this agenda in accordance with provisions of the Local Government Finance Act 1992 relating to council tax, the Local Government Act 2000, the Council's Constitution, Members' Code of Conduct. And please note, members are reminded that they must identify the item number and subject matter that their interest relates to and signify the nature of their personal interest, and where members withdraw from a meeting as a consequence of the disclosure of prejudicial interest, they must notify the chair when they leave. Do we have any declarations of interest? Councillor Gareth Lewis.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I'd like to declare an interest on agenda item 16, Hackney Carriage and Private Hire licence fees. I have a family member who's a licensed taxi driver.
Thank you. Councillor Paula Leighton.
Mr Mayor, I have a prejudicial interest in agenda item 9, Biffa Community Awards, because I'm the founder of the group, so I'll be leaving. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Agenda item number 10, fees and charges for Lifeline services. I've got a personal interest because my mother uses the service.
Okay. Councillor Declan Salmon.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Following on from Councillor Paul Leighton, I've also got a prejudicial interest in agenda item number 9, the Biffa Community Awards. I'm a member of the community group that will benefit if it passes council tonight.
Thank you. Councillor Claire Jones.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I too have got a personal interest in agenda item 10 as I am a family member of Lifeline.
Thank you. Councillor Bill Smith.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I haven't got the number, but page 215, and it's outside bodies of which the local authorities is. I'm a member of Safer Merthyr.
Thank you. Councillor Clive Jones.
Mine's a prejudiced interest on page 2115, 215 also, and it refers to Cwmtaf Magana Mind in the accounts there. I'm the chair of that body and a trustee. And it's, yeah. Thanks.
Thank you. Councillor Louise Minute-Vokes.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. It's in relation to item 11, in relation to a third sector organisation listed, but as members are aware, I am able to speak and vote as a personal interest, but not prejudicial. Thank you.
Councillor Claire Jones.
Yeah, sorry, Mr Mayor, it's myself again. It's agenda item 11. I am a trustee on the board of Saith Myth Didful. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So we'll go to item. Councillor Carter.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. Yeah, I suppose I better declare I'm a board member of the Cyfarthfa Foundation on page 216 as well, but I'm okay to speak more.
So we go to items 3 to 7 minutes from previous meetings. These items are to I'll start again. These items are to approve and enter into the record the draft minutes of meetings previously circulated to committee members with a request to confirm accuracy. Minutes Monday, the 23rd of February, 2026 of full council. Wednesday, 4th of March, 2026 of full council. Tuesday, 24th, 2006 of full council. Minutes Wednesday, 13th of May, 2026 of annual general meeting and mayor's installation. Minutes Thursday, 14th of May, 2026 of full council. Do we have a mover? Yeah. So Councillor Brent Carter.
I'm happy to move, Mr Mayor, but I do believe there's a couple of members with a few minutes of accuracy.
Okay. Deputy Leader David Jones.
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Okay, so we'll go to questions and comments on these minutes. So, Councillor Clive Jones.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Mine is an alteration or an addition on council on Wednesday, the 4th of March, and it's minute number 28 on page 11. Third dot down refers to Merthyr's fees. Could we add in the full title of the county borough, and that's Merthyr Tydfil? I've also got an alteration on the full council of the 24th of March. It's page 13, minute number 35. It says apologies received from Councillor C. Jones. That was correct. If in future I could be referred to as Councillor C.T. Jones, then we won't avoid, we'll avoid confusion in the future. Yep.
Mr Mayor, it's in relation to item number 4, item number 22 in item number 4. It's regarding the declarations of interest. I'm down as having declared an interest, but I think it was Councillor Gareth Lewis who declared the interest, not myself.
Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. That's noted. Councillor Clive Tovey.
Oh. Sorry I'm late. I should have declared an interest on page 216. I'm a member of Kevin Coyd Rugby Club. Okay, sorry, I just noticed that.
Deputy Leader David Jones.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Page 11, item 28, I believe I presented the report to Council. Thank you.
Are there any more comments on the minutes? Thank you. We'll take this to the vote.
Thank you. If you can please use the voting buttons on your microphone to vote, please.
So we have to do, yeah, sorry, I was just, yeah, just for item 3, we have to take every minute item in its own right. Okay, so we'll go, as we've had the first vote, Monday the 23rd of February, 26th of full council. That's been passed. Minutes, Wednesday, 4th of March, 2026 of full council. You take that to the vote. Yes. Okay. Minute, Tuesday, 24th of March, 2026 of full council. We'll take that to the vote. That's passed. Yeah, that's passed.
I think so, but you've got some online as well.
Yeah. Andrew. Councillor Barry, have you got something you need to say to us? Councillor Barry, you're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
Can you hear you now?
Lovely. I had some trouble getting in. It was just on the declarations of interest I was going to declare. Is now appropriate?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, item 10, fees and charges, lifeline mention, fees and charges of licensing cabs. Likewise, obviously at 16, item 16, Hackney and private hire license fees. Declare an interest on both items. I withdraw.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Clive Jones, are you wanting to say something?
Not that I'm aware of.
Oh, right, okay, because you've come up on my screen, that's all. Okay, so we go to, which one do we go to? 24th of March, we've done the 24th of March. Right, we go to Wednesday, 13th of May, 2026 of annual general meeting and mayor's installation. We'll take that to the vote. Thank you, that one's passed. And Thursday, 14th of May, 2026 of full council. We'll take that to the vote. And that one has passed as well. Thank you.
That's been carried, Chair.
Thank you. We go to item 8. Merthyr Tydfil Destination Management Plan Future Energy 2026-30. To consider a report of the Chief Executive. Councillor Jamie Scriven, could I invite you to address the Council?
That's great. Thank you, Mr Mayor. Just to jump straight into the report then, the focus behind the Destination Management Plan is that we make Merthyr Tydfil one of the UK's most distinct post-industrial adventure and culture hubs. Just to give you an idea of the background, I'll go fly through everything for you. But what we experienced since 2017 is that Merthyr Tydfil defied the national trends bouncing back from COVID and displaying tighter resilience than the majority of the other authorities when it came to our tourism sector growth. So over the past 3 years, thanks to the UK Government's Shared Prosperity Fund programme, we've been able to finance a range of capital grants, fund a dedicated destination marketing officer, and as of January 2025, we commissioned Ainion Ltd to assist in developing the new Destination Management Plan. Detail of that process and the methodology, which can be found at 4.3 to 4.5 of your report. Now, the Destination Management team have spent 2 years developing a robust destination management partnership for which this plan will be the tool moving forward from mid-2026 to develop the sector locally and both regionally, and a working action plan will be shared with the partnership for a co-productive effort of how we move forward, which will also share some of the key performance indicator marks that will be shared with the partnership as we move forward. Progress around how we develop that and how it moves forward to the outcomes will be reported on every quarter and annually. And also I'd like to just point out as well that this plan has also gone through Thriving Scrutiny Committee as of April this year. They were able to review the draft plan and we are now at the appropriate point where we can approve that this evening. If all members are in agreement and approve the plan, it will be launched then at the Council's annual Destination Management Day, which we'll get the dates from Zoe. I think we'll be able to improve that later on. I would just like to say thank you to all the team, everyone that's been working on this. It's been a massive piece of work for everyone. This is the third draft that we're in now. And Mr Mayor, if I can take us to the recommendations at 2.1, that is the Merthyr Tydfil Destination Management Plan Future Energy 2026 to 2030, attached to Appendix 1, be approved. I so move.
Sorry, I'm not going to say the first one to make a mistake gets the first round because it was me. But, so do we have a seconder?
Yeah, happy to second the recommendation, Mr Mayor. And just quickly to pass on my thanks to Lindsay and all the team for all your hard work over the last couple of years with these reports. You're doing an excellent job. Thank you.
Do we have any questions? Councillor Geraint Thomas.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. And again, can I thank Lindsay for her hard work and also Zoe's team as well for the great destination reports we've had over the many years. So well done on this one as well, which we came through Thriving Scrutiny, so thank you. So my question is, we want Merthyr to be the centre of this cultural heritage, active, not active travel, but active, what's the word for it, Lens, help me with that? Active adventure place for people to come from all over Europe or in the world, really, to come to Merthyr Tydfil. So when we launched this at the Destination Day, we've now got, for the first time ever, a Minister for Culture and Sport, in Welsh Government, which I think is a real positive for us, right? Can we invite the new Minister to the event alongside the 6 MSs that's meant to represent Merthyr Tydfil, so they all can see what we want to do and they can back it as well, please.
Councillor Jamie Scriven.
Okay, again. Oh, there we are. Yeah, I totally agree with your comments, Councillor Thomas. If they're not already invited, I'll be happy more than to personally write to them and ask them to attend the event as well.
Do we have any more questions? Sorry?
Can't see again.
Councillor Barry. You're on mute again, Councillor Barry.
It jumps back and forth. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, I applaud the ambition of the report. I think it's exactly what we need, and we've got massive potential in Merthyr. My question is in relation to the practicalities on the ground. If I take you on a short journey off the A470 under the A bridge down to Janice Rowland Square, that bridge has been covered in graffiti for the last 12 months. Unkept roundabouts, lights as you cross the bridge to over the Taff are not always on. The state of the roundabout in front of the ex-servicemen's club, completely unkept and overgrown. There are lights in the Janice Rowland Square set into the floor that haven't worked for years. Who will be taking responsibility for the practicalities? And the high level stuff is fine, but it's on the ground stuff that people are going to see. And there needs to be connectivity between the policy and on the ground practicalities. So who's going to take that responsibility?
Prynawn da, Lindsay Handley, Destination Management Coordinator. There's going to be a long journey of actions that will develop as a result of this key document. As part of the delivery mechanism within the development of this plan, we're going to work a lot closer on the ground with key departments within Merthyr Council, and we've recognised that to already address that into our destination management partnership and create an officer-based working group as well in line with the partnership. I completely understand the need for addressing certain maintenance of existing facilities, and what's come clear in this destination management plan is although the private sector have excelled at a fast pace to offer great quality experiences for the visitor destination, unfortunately there's a bit of catching up to do with the infrastructure on the ground for public realm improvements and elements that we can do cross-departmental across the local authority. So we completely understand that and recognise that as key actions in the priorities in this theming. Especially under the reinvigoration priority, it's addressing town centre as a key area for development, and that sense of arrival, sense of place, and all the elements that you've just mentioned, the roundabouts, the lighting schemes, that's all integral into achieving that sense of place and creating a better perception for Merthyr. So it's all noted, and there's a lot of points already addressed under the reinvigoration element to address those elements you've mentioned, and we will look at working cross-departmental with highways, street cleansing, transforming towns. There's a lot of key departments that we'll be working with to push that forward and drive those changes and investment through Welsh Government, Visit Wales, and any opportunities that we've got with funding to help as well address those.
Do you want to come back on that, Councillor Barry?
Just thank you for the answer. Great report, highly ambitious, great to see. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Have we got any more questions on this? We'll take it to comments. Councillor Clive Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We went through this report in the Thriving Committee with, frankly, a fine tooth comb, as you're aware. It's a very interesting report, and there's a number of stark figures in there that I would think a lot of the members of the public in Merthyr Tydfil are not aware of. And on page 12, I think it's of the plan, and I just quote this one there on that page, and there's another one. The sector, that's the tourism sector, brought in a record 156 million to the county borough's economy, up 54% since the last plan was launched in 2016. And on page 13, there's 6 quoted there. Number 1 is, Merthyr Tydfil attracted 1.3 million visitors in 2024, a slight increase on 2023. These are positive figures, frankly, and I commend the report. It's a very good report, and from what I can see of it, tourism, which employs also over 1,400 in the county borough, is one of the top priorities of this authority, and it's very pleasing because we got so much to attract visitors, our industrial history, but many others as well. And I hope to see it within the next, 9 months or so, the start of the ski slope as well, which I am, the figures, the increase in the figures, then in my opinion, Mr. Mayor, would be staggering.
Thank you. I don't see any other comments. Anybody wanted to make any other comments? So with that, we'll take it to the vote. And that's passed. Thank you. So we go on to item number 9, Biffa Community Awards. So I'll wait for the members to leave the chamber. Thank you. To consider a report of the Chief Executive, Councillor Jamie Scriven, could I invite you to address the council?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Very simple, straightforward report. The department is in receipt of a request from the councillors of the Dowlais electoral division to allocate their Biffa monies as follows, and that is £1,040 towards the Active Kids Dowlais and Pant. The electoral division has declared an interest in the above organisation, hence why under the council's constitution, where such an occurrence happens, it is necessary for us as the council to confirm otherwise the allocation of these funds. So I so move, Mr. Mayor, that the recommendation at 2.1, the allocation proposed for the Dowlais electoral division, be approved.
Councillor Louise Minute-Vokes.
Happy to second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any questions on this? Do we have any comments on this? No, thank you. I'll take it to the vote. And that is passed. One moment till I get the next item up. And we'll call. We'll wait for the members to rejoin us. It's a launch code for all the wheelie bins. Thank you. We go to item 10. Fees and charges 2026-27 Lifeline Services. To consider a report, Director of Finance. Councillor Anna Williams, could I invite you to address the council?
Thank you, Chair. This report sets out the proposed fees and charges for our Lifeline service for 26-27, which continues to play a crucial role in supporting residents to live independently with 24-hour monitoring available all year round. Members will recall that no changes to the fees and charges for this service were agreed as part of the budget report earlier this year, and this was due to the need to conclude further work and procurement exercises, the outcome of which are now outlined. A key factor shaping these proposals is the national digital switchover of telephone lines, which will require all lifeline equipment to be upgraded by January 2027. This has presented a significant challenge for both the council and our residents, and the cost of new equipment, currently priced at £195, has already contributed to a reduction in customer numbers, and there is a clear need to balance affordability with maintaining a safe and reliable service. This report also reflects a deliberate move to improve our affordability and competitiveness, and following a successful procurement exercise, the cost of lifeline equipment is being reduced substantially from £195 to £95, allowing savings to be passed directly to customers. Alongside this, a modest increase to installation and monitoring charges have been set broadly in line with inflation, helping to support the long-term financial sustainability of the service and maintain broad parity with our fees and charges policy. Overall, the proposals aim to retain existing customers, encourage new take-up, and ensure the continued viability of a service that many residents rely on. So I'll move the recommendations, which are at 2.1. The one-off cost for purchasing lifeline equipment currently charged to the customer at £195 per unit be reduced to £95 per unit for 26-27 be approved. And 2.2, with effect from 1st July 2026, the cost for installation of lifeline equipment charged for customers within the county borough of Merthyr Tydfil is increased from £25 to £25.85 be approved. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councillor Louise Munnett-Vokes. Thank you very much. Do we have questions on this? Councillor Geraint-Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. In the 4.3, there's a table 1 there, and it says it shows the drop off from out the county, people using the service, quite considerable really, and a slight increase in people in Merthyr that's using that service. And then if we go then to in the financial implications, it says, you know, with the changes that we're hoping to approve this evening, there's going to be, you know, about 12,000 per annum increase in revenue or revenue coming to the authority over that period. Is there any chance, you know, over like perhaps a 6-month period, we can have an update to see how that's going, to see if, you know, we see an uptake in people taking on the lifeline service, which I hope they do, right? Because it really is a life-saving service, and if we can do that, that would be very useful.
Is anybody going to respond to this?
Thanks. Councillor Thomas, I don't see any issue on why we won't be able to keep councillors updated on progress. Thank you.
And we have an officer waiting to come in.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, we're more than happy to bring update reports. As it says within the report, we will bring quarterly reports through the budget monitoring to monitor the financial performance of the service area, but more than happy as well to provide briefings to members outside of that.
I believe there's another officer, or was it all covered? All covered? Okay, thank you. So have we any comments on this? Councillor Anna Williams-Price.
Chair, I do apologise because I have missed off a recommendation at 2.3, which is with effect from 1st of October 2026, the cost for lifeline weekly monitoring charge would be increased from £3.50 to £3.60 be approved. All outlined in the report, I just neglected to read it verbally. Apologies again.
Councillor Barry. Okay. I'll go to Councillor Claire Jones.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say, it's comments are on now, aren't we? We are on comments now, aren't we? Yeah. Increase, yes, but I would just like to say that cutting the lifeline fee from 195 to 95 removes a major financial with our elderly and most vulnerable. So it's so welcoming, and I would just like to thank you. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Have we got any further comments on this? No. So we'll take it to the vote. And that's been passed. Thank you. So we now go to item 11. Statement of Accounts 2024-25. To consider the report of Director of Finance, Councillor Anna Williams-Price, could I invite you to address the Council? I believe the member is leaving the chamber, so we'll wait till he leaves.
Thank you, Chair. So the Council's final audited statement of accounts for 24-25 gives an overview of financial performance for the year alongside assurance on governance arrangements. And while the main report highlights the key points, the supporting detail that sits behind is contained in the appendices and is important reading alongside the summary. The statement of accounts have also been presented to our Governance and Audit Committee in June. And before turning to the appendices, it is worth highlighting the proposed creation of a capital risk reserve. This reflects an identified need to strengthen the Council's financial resilience as outlined in 5.4 of the report. It will provide an important buffer against potential future pressures, particularly in light of uncertainties identified through the audit process. And Appendix A includes the full audited accounts and covers the detailed financial statements that explain how the Council has managed its resources and funding. It provides the full picture of the Council's position as of 31st of March 2025. Appendix B sets out the annual governance statement, and this explains how the Council has managed its governance, internal controls and risks during the year. It also highlights any key issues along with the actions being taken to improve going forward. The two appendices provide members the detailed assurance needed to fully understand the Council's financial position and governance arrangements before approval is given. I would like to take the opportunity to recognise the positive comments received during Governance and Audit from both the Committee and Audit Wales on the positive progress made by Craig, James and the wider team in the production of these statement of accounts. I will add my thanks for the progress and improvements made so far. Before I move to the recommendations, for clarity, there was an error in publication in recommendation 2.1 with words omitted, and I will correct this verbally. So to move the recommendations, 2.1, the creation of a capital risk reserve funded from earmarked reserves deemed surplus to service requirements be approved. 2.2, the audited statement of accounts for 24-25 being the financial year ending 31st of March 2025 be approved. And 2.3, the annual governance statement for 24-25 be approved. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder on this? Leader.
Happy to second all three recommendations, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have questions on this? Just waiting for the screen to tell me we've got any questions. Councillor Barry? I believe you're on mute again.
Hear me now?
Yeah, yes, we can.
Okay, thanks. So it's in relation to the creation of the capital risk reserve, the £4.605 million. The report talks of surpluses in the earmarked reserves, but it doesn't state what surpluses from which earmarked reserves and whether those earmarked reserves will be closed down, whether they're just reducing, whether they've come to the end of life or end of purpose. I checked the notes in the accounts and it doesn't mention it anywhere. So can you just simply tell me which of the earmarked reserves this money's coming from?
Thank you, Councillor Barry. The two reserves that were deemed surplus was the capital financing reserve and the social services winter pressures reserve, which is set up many years ago, which are now not deemed required by the service areas.
Does that mean they're closed, though? Those have been closed now then, or are they just reduced? And I suppose a follow-up would be, why isn't it mentioned with that detail in the report? Because we have received on many occasions the notification that reserves were not to be used. So clarification on those reserves to that detail, I think, should be in the report.
The detail with regards to the reserves being, they are closed down, they are zero balances in those two respective reserves. They are found within the body of the statement of accounts where you see year-on-year movement. It's just to flag up, these reserves have not been used, they've been repurposed for to manage and mitigate against future risk. So they haven't been used for the revenue budget, they've been repurposed in that effect.
Okay, you understand my questioning though, when we are told not to use reserves, we need clarity on which reserves are being repurposed and which ones are being moved anytime you talk of reserve utilisation.
Okay, I can't see anybody else waiting to ask a question. Have we got any comments? I don't see anybody making comments, so we'll take that to the vote. Okay, and that's been passed. I'll just wait for the member to come back in. It's like being Amazon. You're ringing so many doorbells nowadays. It is. Thank you. We'll go to item number 12, Letter of Representation 2024-25, to consider the report of the Director of Finance. Councillor Anna Williams-Price, could I invite you to address the Council?
Thank you, Chair. So following on from the previous item, this report presents the letter of representation for the Council's 24-25 financial statements, which is another key step in completing the external audit process. The appendix sets out the assurances provided to the appointed auditor, and in brief, it confirms that the Council has properly prepared its accounts in line with required standards and that they give a true view of our financial position. It also identifies that the auditor has been given full access to carry out their work and provides assurance that appropriate systems of internal control are in place regarding fraud and error. Members will further note that the Council has disclosed all relevant matters and that any minor adjustments identified through the audit are not considered material to the overall accounts. And in summary, this letter provides the formal assurance regards the auditor's opinion and the final accounts. So I'll move the recommendation, which is a 2.1. Representations regarding the 24-25 financial statements be approved and communicated to the appointed auditor. Thank you, Chair.
Can we have the seconder for this, please?
I'm happy to second the recommendation as stated in 2.1 of the report, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any questions on this? I can't see anybody on the screen wanting to ask questions. Do we have comments? Again, I can't see anybody on the screen wanting to make a comment, so I'll take it to the vote. And that's been passed. So we'll go to item 13. Item 13, Statement of Wellbeing and Corporate Wellbeing Plan acting today for a better tomorrow. To consider a report of the Director of Governance and Finance. Leader, do you want to address the Council?
Thanks, Mr Mayor. This report concerns the annual review of the Council's Corporate Wellbeing Plan. The report combines the review of our Statement of Wellbeing and Corporate Wellbeing Plan. There hasn't been any change in focus regarding our wellbeing objectives following this review. However, there's additional actions regarding the safe and prosperous Merthyr Tydfil objective. As such, we will revisit it throughout 26-27 to ensure it can be delivered as one objective. We will continue to monitor progress against this plan throughout our quarterly performance, risk and finance reports that were introduced last year. I'm happy to move the recommendation as stated in 2.1, Mr Mayor, that reads, the acting today for a better tomorrow document Appendix 1 be approved. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder, please? Councillor Ann.
Thank you, Chair. Happy to second.
Thank you. Thank you. Do we have questions? Councillor Geraint-Thomas.
Thank you, Chair, and thank the leader as well. You know, we welcome this, you know, aspirational document that's in front of us. However, you know, from our recent assessment, peer assessment, where a lot of us were interviewed and we went through a process, and one of the common things we brought up, members brought up, was the link between a successful and healthy Merthyr and working together with a health service and other third sector partners and police, etc. Now, we know we've written to the health service, the leader has, chief executive, to bring them here into the chamber so we can speak to them to find out what's going on with Prince Charles Hospital, for example. And at the moment, we haven't had a response. So, you know, how is this going to be success, you know, if we can't get the health board to come and speak to us? So what are we going to do about that?
Thanks for the question, Geraint. In terms of where we are, the plan after the PPA was for me to speak to the chair of the health board plus the chief executive to invite them in to come to see me and other members and to see if we can start building the relationship back up to see if we can get them into full council. Obviously, we had an election in Dowlais and Pantog, which took priority over the last 4 or 5 weeks. So after this now, tonight's meeting, I will write to him again tomorrow.
Yeah, sorry, if I can just follow up on that as well. So I think we need to chase the leadership of the health board, but there's every day there's cross working with lots of the tiers within the health board across the local authority. So there are good relationships, you know, already established in lots of different areas. For example, the joint working already started with regards to looking at the Marmot, Merthyr being a Marmot place. Public health and from the CTM are involved in that. So there's ongoing dialogue, but I think, you know, totally take on board, we need to get representation here from the highest level of the health board.
Thank you. I can't see anybody else waiting to make a question, so I'll go to comments. Nobody wanting to make comment, so I'll take it to the vote. That's been carried, and can I ask any officer that isn't necessary for the next item, you can leave. Just wait for the officers to leave. Thank you, members. We go to item 15. Sorry. Not 15, isn't it? 14. Annual delivery plan. Right, okay. Sorry, we go to item 14. Annual delivery plan 2026-27. To consider the report, the Director of Governance and Finance, Leader Brett Carter, can I invite you to address Council?
You can, Mr Mayor, thank you. And neither am I. Thanks, Mr Mayor. This report concerns the second iteration of our annual delivery plan. We have learnt lessons from last year and used findings from our service self-evaluation and planning processes to develop our improvement areas. We have used our plan, do a review and improve process to establish our ADP as set out in our council-approved performance. The top 5 areas of improvement identified are digital developments, workforce staffing, governance, data and performance, and communication. We will continue to monitor progress under this ADP through our quarterly performance, risk and finance reports that also were introduced last year. I'm happy to move the recommendation as set out in 2.1, the Annual Delivery Plan 26-27, Appendix 1 be approved. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Thank you for that. Councillor Alan, I've changed your sex now as well. Councillor Anna Williams-Price.
Thanks, Chair. I will second the report.
Do we have any questions on this? Nobody waiting to ask any questions. Do we want any comments? Leader Brett Carter.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. It would be remiss of me not at this point to thank Andrew Mogford for all his hard work, not just on this report, but also the previous report, the Statement of Wellbeing and Corporate Wellbeing Plan. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Nobody else wishing to make a comment? We'll take this to the vote. And that's been carried. We'll now go to item 15, Corporate Records Management Policy. To consider the report of Director of Governance and Resources. And Leader, I believe you're taking this.
Thanks, Mr Mayor. This is an updated corporate records management policy. It's a pretty straightforward report, Mr Mayor. So I'm going to take you straight to the recommendations laid out. 2.1, which reads, the updated corporate records management policy for implementation across all service areas, which supersedes and replaces the corporate record retention and disposal policy, be approved. 2.2, authority is granted for the Information Governance Forum to make future amendments to the policy where appropriate. This mirrors existing government's arrangements where the IGF is authorised to update operational policies following appropriate consultation, be approved. 2.3, authority is granted for legal and governance service to update the retention and disposal schedules on an ad hoc basis in line with the statutory and regulatory requirements, be approved. And lastly, 2.4, all departments ensure compliance with the updated responsibilities, retention schedules and information handling requirements outlined within the policy, be approved. Thanks, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Anna Williams-Price.
Thank you, Chair. Happy to second.
Thank you. I'm glad I didn't call you Alan again. Do we have any questions on this? I can't see anybody waiting to ask a question. Do we have comments? No, nobody wanting to make comments. I'll take it to the vote. and that's been carried. We'll go to item 16. I believe there's some people have declared interest, so we'll wait for them to leave. No. Okay. Item 16, Hackney Carriage, Taxi and Private Hire Licence Fees. To consider the report of Director of Governance and Resources, Deputy Leader, Councillor David Jones, could I invite you to address the Council?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. This item was previously brought to Council on the 4th of March 2026, where full Council proposed to increase the licence fees for the first time since 2017. During the subsequent 28-day consultation period, 77 responses were received. 25 of those responses were from the taxi trade and 52 were received from public or other respondents. 80% of the taxi trade respondents did not agree with the proposed fee increase and stated that should the increase in fees be implemented, that they would request an increase in taxi tariffs charged to customers. Of the public and other respondents, 58% said that the proposed fees should be reduced and subsidised by the local authority. We have considered the issues raised by all objectors, such as increased costs of fuel, insurance and vehicle maintenance costs, as well as the current cost of living issues faced by residents. And I propose that, subject to questions and comments, and taking into consideration the impact of the objections received, we retain the current fees as identified in 1.1 be approved as at 2.3 in the report. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Leader?
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. We go to questions. Councillor Michelle Simmons.
Thank you, Chair. Just so we are very clear, we're voting for the recommendation 2.3, so taking into consideration the objections received, retain the current fees as identified in 1.1 be approved.
Yeah.
Okay.
Councillor Clive Tovey.
Has this been I noticed the taxi drivers in the reports wanted to see a clearer outcome in terms of enforcement. The taxi drivers often complain that there are rogue taxis going around. With the increased fees, would there be more visits to town, checking up, more enforcement of the rules?
Yeah, okay. The officer wants to come in online. Do you want to answer, Leader, or do
Yeah,
you
I'll answer just quickly. Clive, we're not increasing the fees. If that makes sense.
From the year before, I know we voted in March.
We're not increasing the fees from what they were previously. Joe, do you want to come in? Any further on that?
No, obviously the proposal from the portfolio member is to retain the current fees, so I have nothing further to add than the Leader.
Okay, thank you. I can't see any other questions waiting. Do we have comments on this, please? Councillor Michelle Simmons.
Thank you, Chair. Just to say that it's pleasing to see that the responses from the consultation have been noted, and the decision is 2.3 to retain the fees. So thank you.
Thank you very much. We go to the Councillor Geraint Thomas.
Thank you, Mr Mayor, and I think all of us in this chamber welcome that news. I think we'll all vote for it. We're living in uncertain times. Petrol and diesel is spiking daily, dropping up, down, and we don't know where we're going to be in the near future because the troubles in the Gulf are not over yet. So, yeah, I think that the taxi trade and the residents will really welcome this news. Well done.
Thank you very much. I can't see anybody else waiting to make a comment, so we'll take it to the vote. Okay. Thank you, and that's been passed. We'll just wait for the other, for the member to come back. Thank you. We go to item 17, Welsh Language Annual Monitoring Report, April 2025, March 2026. To consider the report, the Director of Education, Councillor Gareth Lewis, could I invite you to address the Council?
Diolch, Mr Mayor, and prynawn da, everyone. The Welsh Language Annual Monitoring Report provides a comprehensive, retrospective account of the Council's performance between April 25 and March 26. It sets out how the Council meets statutory duties under the Welsh language standards during that period and demonstrates progress made in embedding the Welsh language across services, policies and day-to-day operations. The report was scrutinised by members of the Aspirational Scrutiny Committee on Monday the 20th of April, when members recognised that progress has accelerated and agreed that this item should remain within the forward work programme for the next cycle, ensuring continued oversight and accountability. Appendix 1 provides detailed evidence of the work undertaken across the Council throughout 25-26. It outlines improvements in service delivery, policy making and operational standards, alongside updates on workforce development, community engagement and partnership activity. It also highlights positive outcomes from internal monitoring, the expansion of Welsh language learning opportunities and increased consistency in offering Welsh from the first point of contact. Over the course of the year, the Council has strengthened its governance arrangements, expanded training and awareness, and continued to promote a culture where Welsh is visible, valued, and actively used across the organisation. Internal monitoring shows encouraging levels of compliance, with clear improvements in areas such as email signatures, out-of-office messages, internet content, and responses to Welsh language inquiries. Notably, no complaints progressed to the formal procedure during that period. Good progress has also been made in delivering the Council's 5-year Welsh language strategy. Strong partnership working with schools, community organisations and national bodies has created more opportunities for children, young people, families and our workplace to use and develop their Welsh. Community events such as the Diwrnod Siamai and Dydd Gwael Dewi have further strengthened engagement and promoted bilingualism across Merthyr Tydfil. Workplace development continues to be a particular strength, with over 1,200 staff completing language awareness modules and many more engaging in both formal and informal learning through Learn Welsh Glamorgan. I'd like to thank officers who have produced this report and for the depth of evidence that it does support. It's a reflection of the commitment and collaboration that underpins progress in strengthening the Welsh language across the organisation. The recommendation is outlined at section 2.1 of the report. The Council approves the Welsh Language Annual Monitoring Report for 2025-26. Diolch yn fawr iawn.
Thank you. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Louise.
Happy to second, Mr Mayor.
Thank you. Do we have any questions? I can't see anybody waiting to ask a question. Do we have comments? Councillor Scott Thomas.
Diolch yn fawr. Ga I ddweud fy mod i'n falch o weld y cynnydd rydyn ni wedi gwneud gyda defnyddio'r iaith Gymraeg ac i'r holl staff sydd wedi helpu i wneud y cynnydd hwn yn bosibl. Hoffwn i ddiolch i'r swyddogion am adroddiad gwych a gobeithio y bydd ein gwelliant yn parhau. I will translate, don't worry. I'm very pleased to see that the progress we have made with the use of the Welsh language, and for all the staff who've helped made this progress possible. I wish to thank the officers for a great report, and I hope our improvements continue. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr.
Diolch yn fawr. Bendigedig, excellent report. Welsh language is on the up in Merthyr Tydfil, and long may continue. Yeah, da iawn, ymlaen.
Thank you. There's nobody else waiting to ask comments, so we'll take it to the vote. Thank you, and that's passed. We'll go on to item 18. Environmental Wales Act 2016 Part 1, Section 6. The Biodiversity and Resilience of Ecosystems Duty Report 2026. To consider the report of the Director of Neighbourhood Services, Deputy Leader, Councillor David Jones, could I invite you to address the Council?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. This report introduces the Section 6 duty, describes some highlights, key outcomes and issues, and explores the 6 objectives found within the Nature Recovery Action Plan for Wales in the context of Merthyr Tydfil County Borough Council. MTCBC must seek to maintain and enhance biodiversity wherever possible under the Section 6 duty, also to promote the resilience of ecosystems. Key to compliance with the Section 6 duty is embedding biodiversity into decision-making at all levels, where early thinking and planning seek to maintain and enhance biodiversity, preventing its loss in the first instance. The Section 6 duty introduced a new planning and reporting requirement, where a report be produced for the Welsh Government by the end of 2019 and thereafter every 3 years. The Biodiversity and Resilience of Ecosystems Duty Report 2026 is the subject of this report and is included as Appendix 1. In 4.2 in the report, the 6 objectives for reducing the decline of biodiversity are listed, as well as having regard to the Section 7 list of habitats and species of principal importance for Wales in 4.3. In Appendix 1 on page 463 is a list of plans and documents where maintaining and enhancing biodiversity is or is to be included. The previous Section 6 report highlighted 14 sites that had been chosen as priority biodiversity sites, and within the reporting period 2023 to 2025, a further 9 sites were chosen, making a total of 23 sites with a further 3 possible sites being considered for inclusion. On page 468, the stepwise approach for planning application is highlighted. Also in Appendix 1 are several case studies and examples of smaller works throughout the county borough which have supported biodiversity and ecology. Subject to questions and comments, I would like to move the recommendation at 2.1 that the Biodiversity and Resilience of Ecosystems Duty Report for 2026 be approved. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Do we have a second?
Happy to second, Mr. Mayor.
Do we have any questions? Councillor Geraint-Thomas.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Cabinet member mentioned in his introduction there that in the duty, it mentions that we must enhance and maintain the biodiversity that we have within Merthyr Tydfil. Now, we do a fantastic job of enhancing, I've got to be fair, right? Some of that new field at Terrington's, brilliant, right? But as Councillor Barry mentioned earlier, right, it's how we maintain it afterwards. Now, there are places where we've had possibly grant money, or we use capital money from our own co-funding to create these beautiful areas. But how can we maintain them going forward? Because there are some that's dropping off, and I think to make it better and make this really, really work going forward is maintaining it for the general public, so they can walk through it. Because some of the areas that we've spent money on, government money on, we can't even walk through it anymore. So how can we make it better?
Thank you for the question. Yeah, I recognise what you say, and we are on an ongoing process of prioritising those sites and adjusting our resources to meet those. You know, these sites are being increased year on year, as the report says, and we're working now to kind of try and match and best fit the resources so that we can maintain these sites as best we can. But I totally appreciate what you're saying, that, you know, the sites have probably grown at a faster pace and we've got resources to maintain them, so that we need to realign that to make sure they are maintained properly.
Thank you.
So can I just come in off the back of Judith's answer there? So it is a conversation that we're having actively at corporate management team in terms of when you get the opportunity of external funding for initiatives, how we need to look at properly at the whole life costing of such development. Back to the point about ongoing maintenance, you know, there are decisions to be made in terms of prioritisation, but, you know, it's sometimes very attractive to look at external funding to pursue an initiative, but if the affordability of it from a whole life cost is a challenge, then that needs to be thought about and looked at in terms of priority then. But that is something we are actively looking at.
Okay, I can't see anybody else waiting to ask a question. We'll go to comments. Nobody wanted to make a comment, so we'll take it to the vote. And that has been carried. So we'll go to item 19, which is an information report. Next item is item 20, other business. Sorry. Councillor Andrew Barry. I can't see you, I'm sorry. Councillor Barry.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Just a brief one. This week I was made aware of the unbelievably bad news for Merthyr that we are losing our military preparation college based at the bottom of town. There are 4 in South Wales, or there were 4 in South Wales, one based in Cardiff, one based in Swansea, one in Bridgend, and unfortunately we've lost ours in Merthyr. As my time as Armed Forces champion, I worked a great deal with the organisation, and it is a tragic loss to this town when you consider the deprivation of this area, when you consider the lack of opportunity, when you consider the number of NEETs not in education, employment or training, particularly when it's framed in terms of where we stand with the defence budget and the requirements of a very unstable world at the moment. The opportunities that the Military Preparation College affords the youth of this town is unprecedented. I've been to many events where I've seen that cohort of age group which gets typically bad press, and the discipline, focus and effort that those individuals who attend the Military Preparation College bring is quite amazing to see. And I think it will be remiss of us as a council if we don't make representation to Welsh Government to talk to them and request that their funding be reinstated. We've got a massive heritage in the South Wales Valleys as being one of the largest recruitment areas for the armed forces. And I think it would be tragic if we didn't make representation. to Welsh Government to make our dismay at the reduction and withdrawal of that funding, and hopefully get it reinstated and bring that back, because it is such an asset to this town. And you'll have already noticed the lack of those individuals, the absence of those individuals on the Janice Rowland Square. And I hope that we can make representation through the leader and chief executive and request that that funding come back and the Military Preparation College once again is seen in Merthyr. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Does anybody wish to... Oh, Leader, Brent Carter.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Mayor. Councillor Barry, I couldn't agree more with you. The Deputy Leader, Councillor Jones, has already approached Vicky Howell's MS with his concerns with regards to this, and she's taken it further. But I'm more than happy to write to Welsh Government tomorrow on behalf of the Council, expressing our concerns and asking for it to be reinstated as well.
Sorry, anybody else wishing to speak on this? Councillor Barry as well, is it? Councillor Barry? You're probably on mute again, Councillor Barry. You're on mute again.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Just to reiterate my thanks to the leader for doing that, and hope that we can get this turned around. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I can't see anybody else waiting to speak on this. Thank you. And so we'll go to item 21. To receive communications from their worship the Mayor. There are none. So thank you and good night.